What's up, party people? Welcome to Saturdays and Seltzers. My name is Kendra Middleton, and I am joined by my co-host, Sarah Griffin, who is looking lovely in pink this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so before we get into our HLH, I have to ask you, is the high of yours an announcement?
Sort of, kind of. I put it on LinkedIn.
Okay, so we have breaking news. We have breaking news. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Sarah, if you don't know what our HLH is, if you're here or you're clicking in for this because that's going to be our title, obviously, it's our high of the week, low of the week, hero of the week, which is something unexpectedly good that happened to you. So breaking news is Sarah's high.
Yeah, I'm full-time at the PLL now.
Woo!
Which also means I am phasing out of the NHL, which means I'll have a life again after the hours of 6 p.m. starting next month.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
Big day, a lot of changes, but good changes.
Sarah and I always joke that we used to see each other more when she didn't live in Boston, and now she lives here and we literally never see each other, which I've been working on some rebranding of the show and stuff. Maybe we'll have some more time to put into it, which means maybe we can do some more in-person content, which is great for you guys that are listening. So congratulations to Sarah. I feel like this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, I am just so happy to be doing something writing related. And don't get me wrong, I love I don't know how to say it, watching NHL games for a living. But now I'm like, okay, this is way more what I want to do. Because what I was doing at the NHL, I loved all the people I work with and stuff, but it was just not the job I was looking for.
I feel like we should celebrate at some point.
I want to so badly.
We could go back to doing these shows hammered.
I know, that's the other thing. Now I'll actually be able to drink after.
So yeah, we can go back to our regular recording schedule, which means Sarah and I will be hammered on random weeknights. Yahoo. Okay. I feel like we both have good highs this week.
Yeah.
So obviously Calvin Ridley was freed from Atlanta to Jacksonville, which the funniest part of all of this to me is that he actually was suspended for betting on a Falcons Jags game.
What do you bet?
I don't remember if it was released what he bet, but that's why he was suspended for an entire season was because he was betting. But what he got caught for was betting on a Jags Falcons game. So it's just funny that he's now a Jaguar. Obviously I think I've made it pretty clear, and I'll talk a little bit about the Jags later, but I've made it pretty clear that I think that the team's focus is next year. I think that it's Trevor's development. They don't really care about winning right now. It's just next year, Jug wants, I don't know. I'm all out on this season, whatever. I'm excited for next year. We have Calvin Ridley. Fuck it. That was the best part of my week. I did not expect us to make any moves as far as signing people. I almost expected us to trade Josh Allen away and stuff like that. So that is my high, is that we didn't do anything that I fucking hated. So
perfect.
Boom. Okay.
That is a high.
I know. Okay, good. Okay. What is your low?
My low is Swayman and Forbert both going on injured list for week to week, not even day today.
Yeah.
Just kicking the nuts, but it's fine. They'll figure it out. Honestly, I think because Allmar's been so good lately, and I know we'll get more into it. He did have that bad start, but then he finished out the game in Pittsburgh anyways. Forward's been so good in McAvoy's absence. I'm fuck.
Yeah. I know it sucks because obviously these are two people that we talked about Forbort a lot last week, and we talk about Swayman, I feel every single week, but it's because you guys are getting, McAvoy back at some point, which we'll talk about. And then Marshawn came back a month early. It's you guys were ready to be full steam ahead, I feel and now it's just well, fuck.
Literally. I'm everything was going a lot, very too well. And it is still so, they only have one fucking loss. And that's just it was a needed reality check. I just wish it didn't come in this form.
Yeah. I would rather lose a couple games and everybody be healthy and have the possibility to turn it around than.
Yeah, I'd rather a 3-game or 4-game losing streak than those guys going down injured. But
yeah, it's true. Okay. My low is being a Jags fan, just because I feel we're kind of at that point in the season where it's before Thanksgiving and I'm already thinking about the draft. So I'm just like, fuck it. Like, whatever. There's no point in trying anymore. And then my other low is that Halloween night, like, or last Friday night, I guess, whatever, like the first week, like night of like Halloween weekend or whatever was, I drunkenly ordered a quesadilla to beat me to my house. And it got delayed 4 times for 2 hours. And I fell asleep, like washed my face, walked to Jackson, all the things, fell asleep waiting for it. It got delivered at like 4. I got up at 5 to go get it. And I had been raccooned.
Oof.
The raccoon stole my fucking quesadilla. But honestly, I kind of feel as though they'll never come back to this house again because it was Taco Bell and it definitely fucked their shit up. Like the raccoons
definitely was like, oh, we're just like thinking about, oh.
And I ordered fire sauce with it, so you know that those raccoons are fucking hating their life right now. I went to let Jackson out at like 8 a.m. in the morning and saw that like the way that it was ripped into the bag, I was like, this was not a mouse. This thing had thumbs.
They're probably still feeling it now.
No. So I potentially gave a raccoon diarrhea. So that's on me. What is your hero?
My hero, as you guys know, I went on that bar crawl last weekend. It was better than I thought. However, my biggest like observation through it all was everyone was like freshly 21. And I'm like, okay, take this in, everyone. Like, we're too old to be here. We can never go on another bar crawl. This is for the youth. Like, we're 25, 26. We are never going on another one of these. I literally, like, I mean, granted, it was fucking Faneuil Hall. So, of course, it's a bunch of young people, probably people with fake IDs too. But I'm like, I'm so old. I was talking to a girl in line and she was like, oh yeah, like I'm doing my like grad school program. I was like, oh, like how old are you? Like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm 25. I'm doing this program. She was, oh, I just turned 22. Oh, and you're old enough to be in grad school?
Imagine not like going through a panini in college. Like
you're in grad school?
Ooh, we're getting old, dude.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so old.
See, I kind of had the realization last weekend too, that I think that I'm too old to party like that. And also like, I would rather stay in these days and like make myself a meal and like watch a game than go to a bar.
Well, that's like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to have so much free time now on weekends and at night. You know, damn well, like you and me both know, I do not like leaving my house. I'll maybe go out once every few weeks. I probably my schedule won't change that much. I will still probably be sitting in this house doing nothing.
I go out every Friday. That's it. Every Friday.
I still just feel like, especially winter, I just hate the cold so fucking much. I'll go out like once a month and that'll be it.
Yep. I'm not trying to wear high heels in the cold. I'll save some money so I can do stuff in the like summer, whatever. I don't care. And also like I spend so much on my rent. I might as well like enjoy my house.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. Like rent in Boston is no fucking joke. So my hero is that Auburn finally fired Brian Harsin. So I'm in an Auburn hockey sweatshirt, even though he is not the hockey coach. I don't think there even probably is one. It's probably just a player. But yeah, so I was super stoked about that. It's about time. I don't think that he was the guy for the job in the first place. I'm a little concerned for who they could get. There's like rumors about Deion Sanders. I don't think it's happening, but I would love for it to. But like that was just a nice little, oh, okay, cool, you know?
Yeah.
So that's all I have there. I'm just drinking kombucha. I know you're not drinking, but like I said, our drunken episodes will be TBD. NBA news. I know that you've probably seen this living with Jordan. Steve Nash was fired from Brooklyn. Ime Udoka set to be the next coach. Sounds like Celtics players are upset about it, but I think that this is the right move. And now Brooklyn has taken out the trash for the Celtics twice. The first time being in Kyrie and now with Ime. And I feel like Katie, Kyrie, and Ime is just like set to be a Drake lyric at some point.
That's going to blow up so quickly.
Yeah. Dumpster fire.
I also just hate Kyrie at this point. I hate.
I hate him too.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's fair that everyone does, but it's just like, I don't know how, I mean, I get like why Celtics players probably felt like they were left in the dark for all of this or what have you, but it's like the second that you have someone on your staff fraternizing with multiple women, let alone like higher up people's wives, like I don't care if you're Nick Saban, like you probably have to part ways at that point.
Yeah.
Like I think that that's the only option that they have. So I think that a lot of people are concerned because they're getting a good head coach. They play them often, but I really don't see that it's that big of a deal.
Like based off my very limited NBA knowledge, from what I know, Brooklyn's not really anything to worry about.
Which is weird because they should be,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Only time will tell, but I think that that's kind of crazy that within like 2 hours, they already had like everything figured out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to talk about the NBA. I haven't really gotten that far into it yet, just because it's Survivor is not over yet. When Survivor is over, that's when I get into the NBA. So moving into our MLB stuff, obviously the World Series is going on right now. Couple points to talk about. Obviously, you put in our notes that you haven't really been watching. Neither have I, as much as usual. But I don't know. It's not that I don't care. It's just when you have multiple people pitching a no-hitter and you want to call it a no-hitter, like I just don't really care, nor do I respect it in the same sense.
See, I'm still like, okay, that's cool, especially because it's the World Series and stuff. I just thought, I think I wrote it too, like, it's funny that the Phillies had like the most home runs in a single World Series game on Tuesday, then get no hit on Wednesday. But I feel like that's kind of usually how those type of things go. But I do agree with your point. Like having a no hitter in the World Series is huge, but I like just don't give a fuck. Like not once was like, oh, I should turn that on and watch. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I care about the Phillies, but like, I just hate the Astros so much. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that Vasquez was like making that big of a difference for the Red Sox, but like, it's kind of a kick in the dick that like, he also is probably going to win a World Series with the Astros. So like, I don't know, that sucks.
I do love that Vasquez just like openly is like, yeah, I'll try and come back to Boston next year. I'm like, you're literally in the middle of a playoff.
I know.
And why are you talking about like, he really loves the Red Sox?
It's wild. I don't know if he like bought a house here or like had like his, I don't know, weird, whatever.
I'm like, I get you're drafted here, like grew up here as a player and stuff. But I'm like, damn, they traded you away. Like it was fucking nothing. Like players are pissed.
Didn't even tell you. You like literally just like, walked across the field to the other dugout.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, he really bought it on the Red Sox, which good for you, because it feels like no one else did in the last year.
Yeah. By the time we record next week, we'll probably have a World Series champion.
Yeah, hopefully it's the Phillies.
So I only had one other note, just since neither of us are really watching this. We're both just NFL, NHL all the way, kind of at this point in the year. Mm-hmm. I do have to point out that tonight is Thursday Night Football between Philly and Houston, and they're playing each other in the World Series, but in different cities. And I think it's kind of crazy that like the Eagles are undefeated and going to play a really shitty team, and the Phillies really never lose at home in the postseason, like at least like right now. So yeah. It's like, I think that Philly could have a huge high tonight or a low. Like the city of Philadelphia, grease the polls.
Yeah, seriously. I know. I was going to watch that game, the Eagles game. I'm like, I probably won't watch the Phillies game.
It's true. Yeah. I might have it on. I don't know. Fuck it. I think that it like, cause they're probably gonna be talking about it a lot on the broadcast for Thursday Night Football.
True. They should do like a dual screen type thing. Although I don't know if the Amazon's even allowed to do stuff like that.
See, I would be fine with that. But then I think back to when Aaron Judge was like hunting for those records during college football season, and they kept like putting those on over plays. And I was like, can you just shut the fuck up?
True. Yeah. I say at least like highlights, and maybe not like the entire like live game, but like, yeah, probably just like big home runs or something.
Yeah, I feel like you'll have like the crowd probably going crazy too, because a lot of people will obviously be watching on their phones.
Yeah.
So I think that could be cool. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
Hopping into some NFL stuff. I'm convinced that Russell Wilson listens to our podcast, because we talked all that shit about him last week. And then he goes out and beats the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I swear to God, it's in spite of us. So that game was fucking brutal. The Jags lost in London. Russell Wilson is just so annoying. Like his post game, like interview and just like his like screaming of the prayer. And like, I don't know. He bothers me. And I feel like we had to lose to like that fucking guy of all people.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm so frustrated. It was such an ugly game too. Like, and I have some comments like kind of across the board about this like quarterback draft class. I don't know if this like class of Lawrence Wilson, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields is going to be like the most overhyped quarterback class of all time. But none of them are like who people thought they would be or could be. Honestly, I said that Justin Fields was going to be the best quarterback out of this class, and I still stand by that, even though he is in Chicago. Because, I mean, Trey Lance, fine, we'll leave him out of it. He's not playing. Mac Jones got bailed the fuck out last weekend by that interception, that pick six being called back. All of the turnovers that he potentially could have caused, like Zach Wilson playing as bad as he did, another person on that list. Like, I thought Zach Wilson was getting better because he hadn't thrown an interception in like 3 games or something like that before this. And then he goes out with that performance. And then obviously Trevor Lawrence goes and throws one of the nastiest picks. The red zone turnovers and incapability, they're so incapable of getting points on the board in the red zone, or they turn the ball over. And it's just like, I don't know if it's this class. I don't know like what's going on, but all of them had a terrible outing last week, except for I'll excuse Trey Lance, obviously, and Justin Fields. So it's like, I know that the Patriots say that they want to stick with Mac Jones, but it's like, he's obviously turning the ball over too. And so is freaking Trevor Lawrence, like crazy. So I feel as though that this quarterback class might just be a bust.
Starting to look like it.
Did you watch the Patriots last weekend?
I did.
I mean, like, he totally got bailed out by some of those. Like, he didn't play a good game. It was really just that obviously the injuries are plaguing the Jets, and Zach Wilson just couldn't keep the ball at all. So
it was just an ugly game.
It really was
not entertaining whatsoever.
No, because I had it on because I just, after all the Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi stuff, I was like, all right, like I might as well watch the game, see how this shakes out. Like, will Mac come back? Whatever. Honestly, I don't know if you listen to like Mac Jones press conferences or if you've seen any clips on social or anything. I can't even listen to him speak.
Really? I haven't seen a ton.
He just is so meek and just PR focused on everything that he says, to the point where he doesn't even like answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
It's just insane. Like, I think that he's scared, dude. And I don't know how you get that kid back to being a leader right now.
I just feel like he has no confidence. And on the one hand, I don't really blame him after all this shit, but also, all right, not having confidence off the field is one thing. On the field, he looks like worse.
I think the only positive that he has over Zappi is the experience and size. I think that that's really it. Like, he has a season under his belt, but it's like, I don't really even know what their plan is at this point, because they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They didn't get any weapons. They didn't trade anybody away. I don't think this team right now is an answer, and you didn't get any answers. So what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really confused what the direction of this Patriots team is.
Me too. Yeah, me too, dude. And I'm growing increasingly concerned. Not that I love watching the demise of the Patriots. It's fun, but it's like, I want them to either trade everything away or bring a bunch of people in and at least make it exciting. So they're doing neither for me. And I need the drama. It's
just boring.
Same with the Packers. I have them in the notes of people who didn't do anything in the trade deadline either. I'm just bored by them. Like, I don't know. I would have tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers if I was like a team needing a quarterback, or if I was a Packers fan, I'd have my pitchforks out front. I don't know. Something like that. The only other NFL comment that I have was that Christian McCaffrey was obviously traded from the Panthers to the 49ers last week. He caught a touchdown last week, threw a touchdown last week, and rushed for a touchdown last week.
Damn.
That's kind of crazy.
Good for him.
I know. That's rad. Like Shanahan's offense is fun as fuck. Like having someone who can do all of those things is just wild and like already plugged into like the Swiss Army knife of an offense that they have. So that was fun as fuck. We are cruising. You said you had to be out of here in an hour. I'm like
shook how quickly we're going.
So we can spend some NHL time here because I filled out our NHL notes this week and I probably missed a bunch of shit that Sarah wants to talk about. So we can kind of like have Bruins happy hour here. So, all right. I put in a bunch of notes. My first thing that I want to talk about, and then you can pop off on the Bruins and I'll chime in from time to time. Why do the P Bruins have a mustache on their photo?
Do they? Oh, for Movember.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. That was my only question for you outside. Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. What do you want to start with?
I don't know. Everything like has been so good up until like the last game, which, you know what, we can talk about the Penguins game because that was a shit show of a game. But the fact that they pulled out the win after all that is incredible. I feel like, I don't know, there was a lot of times last year with the Bruins, like they did go through that one like lull, you know, they were very streaky last year, but it was like those type of games that you just kind of knew like they weren't going to pull it off in the end. I think this was the first game that really saw like the Bruins have to like battle for that win. Like a lot of their other wins have been by like I don't know, like 3+ or more goals. Like they have the highest scoring offense, I think, like goals average in the league. Like I think I said something like 4 point something, which is insane. But then, that Pittsburgh game, like they just did not look great. I know that Jim Montgomery said that was the worst morning skate they've had all year, like for everyone, including Ullmark, who I don't think there's any need for concern about Ullmark. I think that kind of goes without saying, like goalies are goalies. You're going to have bad games.
Yeah.
Swayman already had his bad game out of the way, and now Ullmark had that one, and they still somehow pulled off the win, and he's still undefeated, which is a wild stat.
Yeah.
After giving up 5 goals.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the goaltending because of the Bruins Rangers matchup. Like that's kind of fun.
Oh, I know. I'm excited. I was writing my like sportsbook preview for that game. And like, obviously Shesterkin probably hasn't gotten off to the start that he's been looking for, but for anyone else, it's like, oh, that's a great start he's off to, but because he did just win the Vezina, like it's still like a .921 save percentage, like something insane like that. Like I'm guessing it's going to be a low scoring game, but also I feel like we know the Bruins offense are the best of the best. So who knows if they can get by that. I also think the Rangers have such good defense led by Adam Fox, but then the Rangers are starting to like find their groove. I feel like they started off okay, but then it was kind of just like they were relying on the same 3 guys. And now you're starting to see them break out more. I don't know if the Bruins are the best game for them to break out against. Like it's the hottest team in the league, but also it's probably your best chance to when you don't have Forbert out there.
Yeah.
He really has been such a difference maker.
He's just kind of a bully, but I like it.
Yeah. Like they're number 1 on the penalty kill. And I was like, literally because of Derek Forbert. Like,
yeah,
I think if they go on the penalty kill tonight, I'm not going to have my hopes very high.
Yeah. So something before we kind of get into like people coming back and whatnot, I want to talk about the Studnicka trade. Obviously that was kind of wild. I put that in our notes because like it happened like almost immediately after we got off the show last week, but it's like, I think it's kind of nuts how they had him as a healthy scratch. And then by the end of the game, they were like, yeah, you're out of here, kid.
I think that's just such a shitty way to handle it, just because he has been a kid that's been in the organization now for a few years
and he's good,
beaten around and never got the opportunity. I said last week, I will never understand why. I mean, I do get why in his certain position, like at center, there's just hasn't been room for that. But even on the 4th line, like you continue to Trent Frederick chance. So I don't get why Jack Studnicka never got that opportunity here. But I will say, I think it's good that he's going to Vancouver where he can get regular playing time.
Although, we've talked about that a lot too. Like they should be so much better than they are. And I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know if I haven't really kept tabs on them since the trade, but I do remember seeing a quote that they were planning on playing Jack like as a wing, which I don't love that. Like play him at center. That's what his position is. Like you're going to give him regular playing time, give the kid a chance. Whether
he deserves it.
And I know he didn't have great numbers in his first game. I really haven't checked in since. I'm like, well, yeah, play him at his position.
What did they trade him for?
Like, I think. Oh, actually, it's one of the Canucks like top defensive prospects who's obviously not NHL ready, but I know Canucks fans are mad about that. Then I think a like forward prospect or something.
Okay, like I don't hate that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, maybe a goalie prospect.
I think it was a goalie.
It was a goalie.
I think you're right. I think yeah. I think you're right. I think it is a goalie. Yeah, which like I think that's why I was annoyed originally when I saw it. I was like, I mean, obviously Allmark's like not a long-term solution. You have a long-term guy in Sway. Are you just gonna have like two kick-ass young guys? Like I don't know. I was just kind of like I feel like I don't know. We talked about it last week. I like Studnicka, especially because of the Trent Frederick situation.
Yeah, I hope all the best for him in Vancouver. I hope the Canucks figure out how to use him correctly.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to ask you, I saw an article this morning about Marchand being back a month ahead of time. Yeah. I don't know what to credit that to.
I do know. I saw an interview that he did last week, and he's like, whenever I have injuries, I usually do end up coming back early. I don't think any have been a month early, but I did look because then I was just kind of curious. There have been a few times now where he came back like a few weeks ahead of schedule. So maybe just him in general. And then also he is just a pesky, persistent person. I know he's been practicing now for a couple months.
A month is just a long time.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. And he looks like great.
Yeah. So what about McAvoy? Do you know? I mean, they said November, but like that's obviously broad.
I think I saw they were like aiming towards after Thanksgiving, and they made it clear like it's not a Marchand situation where he's not coming back before like this certain time, which is good. Because I don't think McAvoy has this. Love Charlie McAvoy, but Brad Marchand's just a wild human being. I don't think Charlie McAvoy should be rushing by any means. He's still young. Like, please don't risk it.
So with those two coming back, I feel the Bruins already are like the hottest team in hockey right now, in my opinion, obviously, but you're now getting healthier, and it doesn't seem like Forbort or Sway have like anything like long lasting. Do you think that because of that, this team is built to last, or are you kind of worried about like probably the average age of players on this team?
The way that this team's playing now and the roster they have now, I'm very much in just like a cup or bust mode. Because it is kind of cup or bust. Like this is probably Patrice's last year. Like David Krejci came back just for this. He's on a 1-year deal. Like, I think at this point, I'm like, I can't even be worried about next year. Like it is cup or bust. And especially given how we've seen they've performed now through these first like 10, 11 games, it has to be.
Yeah. Do you think that Montgomery is like a coach of the year candidate already?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know like people outside of like the Boston like market are probably going to be like, you're just like a homer. It's the Boston Bruins. But people forget how low expectations were for the Bruins coming into this season. Like no one really had any crazy expectations for them at all. And like, oh, your best like get of the offseason was bring back a guy you already had that's old.
Well, and obviously it was a coaching issue too, because this roster really isn't that different than it was last year.
No. And friggin' Bruce Cassidy's thriving out in Vegas. So it worked out for everyone because they're like the second hottest team in hockey.
Yeah. I just dropped my thingy. But anyways, I was going to say, I feel as though I did put in our notes, like this season, and I feel this way across the board in sports, I feel as though like the teams who have been really good for like the last 5 to 10 years are kind of finding themselves falling backwards, and like teams who kind of haven't been as loud or as good or have like been building or whatever are kind of coming up to the top. And I feel like that in the NHL this season, like obviously the Hurricanes are good, but like they haven't been historically good. They're fine. They're like on a come up, like they're kind of due to make it to a Stanley Cup, win a Stanley Cup, whatever. The Bruins, like they've had a lot of the same guys that they had last time they were good, but they are kind of finding a way to figure it out. Like the Rangers, like all of these teams, I feel like things are changing.
The biggest surprise to me has been the Devils. They're like third in the league right now.
I know. Like their power rankings don't really blow me away, obviously, but like good for them. Like I love Devils fans, to be honest.
Their offense is insane. They look really good. I'm like just curious as to how sustainable that is, if it's just like a hot start or whatnot. They also have such a young team.
I was just going to say that they're super young.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that pans out. That'd be awesome if they made a playoff run or at least got into the playoffs, especially after last year and the way that season ended.
Honestly, I could see them ending just over 500 or at 500, but honestly, coach of the year option for me as well. Like, fuck it. I don't know. Like they're a lot better than I think anybody expected them to be. And who knows, like it's still really early in the season, that could change.
Yeah.
But it's still a shocker nonetheless.
That's how I kind of feel about the Flyers right now too.
Yeah, that's true. Another young team.
Said it like time and time again. If they finish at 500, that'll be a win for the season. But I do think John Tortorella is the best thing to happen to this team. Again, polarizing figure. I totally get it, but he's exactly what this group needed, and it's paying off. And the little things on the ice, I still don't think they're a team that is playoff contender. Like when they're like playing, if you're really watching, they don't look good. They don't look good. And Carter Hart's been just bailing them out. And then he got his first loss over the weekend. And it was like, or not over the weekend, 2 days ago or last night. I don't even know what days it is anymore, but it was like 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Against the Rangers.
Yeah.
And it's freaking overtime. So they were able to hang with them that long. And then Carter Hart let up one overtime.
I feel like there's been a ton of overtime this season too.
I know there has been a lot of overtime.
I feel like I've been staying up so late. I only had one other comment, and it was because the Sharks obviously play in the later slate. So does Anaheim. I'm so fucking over this team. Like, I hate them. Like, to lose to Anaheim the other night after Carlson of all people put up a hat trick fucking pissed me off to no end. Like, I can't even watch them because it's like, I understand that the Jags are bad, like whatever. It's just some of the decisions that like they've made. It makes sense why the Jags are bad. I get so frustrated watching this team.
Erik Karlsson just like going off this season. One is so fucking random. And
he's
two,
so
I saw
old.
a tweet and it was like, it's going to be so annoying when Erik Karlsson's the reason the Sharks don't get a good draft pick.
Yeah, because we're replacing your ass. Like, thank you. He's
gonna have a career year and the Sharks just like high enough that they don't get the draft.
I know. I think he's already having like a career high year in minutes so far. I'm like, for what?
Like, I get it. Like, obviously I'm not like, yeah, play shitty. Come on.
I know, but it's just like ironic. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Like, because you said he's the one that draft pick's going to be replacing him.
I know. It's so fucking annoying because I'm like, all right, like, but the thing that's frustrating too is it's like he's not even playing for a contract or anything. Like, he's just out here like fucking
vibes.
It's existing on vibes alone, truly. Like, and it's
not like they're Stanley Cup. Like,
I never thought I'd get pissed seeing him score a hat trick, but now I'm just like, thank God we lost that game because I would have just been like, well, there goes our draft. Fuck it.
He's really doing it for the vibes. You've got to admire it.
It's true. Fuck it. All right. I don't know. This team pisses me off. It's like, why? I don't know. But it's like, I don't even, and the fact that their games are so late a lot of the time, I'm just like, why do I do this to myself?
Yeah, those 10:30. Like, they don't sound that bad because, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we both stay up kind of late. When you and I will send each other TikToks at 2 a.m. and be on. You're actively trying to stay up and pay attention, it feels like it's like 5 a.m.
I know. My eyes will start to hurt because I've been staring at a screen since like 9 a.m. Brutal.
Ugh.
Brutal. Yeah. All right. Any other NHL comments, storylines, anything that I missed?
Nope.
Do you have any lacrosse anything?
Nope.
Okay. So pop culture shit, I have to say, RIP Takeoff. That was fucking wild.
Yeah.
I am So upset. I've been listening to Takeoff's like in memoriam playlist on Spotify for days. Literally days.
I thought that news was fake.
Me
when
too.
I was like, there's no fucking way.
And now there's like rumors going around that like Quavo shot him and like all this shit. And I'm just distraught.
It's going to be wild.
Has Cardi still said nothing?
Yeah, I don't think she said anything.
I don't think she's even been on the internet. No, she hasn't. Because I was like kind of waiting to see like if she posted anything, because she was posting like late that night and she hasn't posted anything, which makes me think that like Quavo is in questioning.
Yeah.
Because like usually I feel like someone would be like RIP or like my, you know, whatever. Weird. Yeah. Okay. Wild. So I put in here the Taylor Swift stuff for you because I obviously want to know how you feel about the album, the tour. I've listened to the first 5 minutes and I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, Swifties. I tried. What are your thoughts and feelings?
I think I said I liked the album last week. Like, it's not my favorite Taylor Swift album, but I do like it. I've been listening to it a lot. The tour is going to be a bloodbath trying to get fucking tickets.
Yeah.
And I like hate to be that gatekeeper person, but like, there are some people like you guys, you know what? And this is going to be so like old lady yelling at a cloud of me, but it's like the fucking like 13, 14-year-olds. I'm like, you were not even like alive. Okay.
Yes.
I was in 4th grade, like listening to Taylor Swift, watching music videos, like all this. Like I've been to, and it sounds worse because like I've been to a bunch of Taylor Swift tours. So I should probably give no.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, joke's on you guys because I'm a grown-ass adult, so I can actually afford this shit. It's gonna probably still put me in debt, but I can afford it.
I think that people are going to buy like all the tickets they can and then just resell them at astronomical prices.
I sign up for pre-sale and then I know like she's like starting it at like ticket prices are starting at $49. It's just a matter of who like gets the pre-sale codes. Me and my sister signed up on 6 different email accounts. So
that's hilarious. I'm not a Swiftie, obviously, but I do hate Gillette as a venue.
I'm just so nervous because that is like one of her most popular shows because there's been time like tours where she goes to Gillette for 3 nights and sells out for 3 nights. She's like there for 2 nights. She hasn't toured in like since 2018. Like she's released fucking like 6 albums.
Yeah. She releases a lot of music.
Yeah, she does.
She has a lot of feelings.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are re-recordings since she didn't own
that's
music.
true. She still gives off Pisces moon energy.
I just think Scooter Braun's a piece of shit and should be in jail. So
it's true. It's true chains. Okay. So those are pop culture shit. Our tea party is a joint tea party because Sarah and I are fighting because I think that it's Thanksgiving season and yes, it should be a season and Sarah's already on the Christmas grind.
To be honest, this might be a hot take. I don't like Thanksgiving, so that's just kind of.
We got to get our moms on.
Oh.
We have to schedule our mom show.
Fuck, yeah, we do.
That was our most popular show last year.
I know, and I'm like, why can't I stop NHL like next week?
I mean, my mom has to zoom in, so like your mom could zoom in.
Yeah. Oh. She just works like the weirdest fucking like I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll
figure it out. We've got like 3 weeks plus, so we will find a time. But yeah, Sarah and I are fighting because I think it's Thanksgiving season. Sarah already has her Christmas stuff out. My thing is that I just hate how I went to Target 2 weeks ago and they're already putting Christmas stuff out. Like, it's just how soon we're gonna start like putting our Christmas trees out in fucking like June.
I'd love it. I just love Christmas so much. And I also love
I hate
Christmas
it.
music. Like I listen to Christmas music year round if it was allowed.
You and my mom had her second hip replacement and she scheduled it so that she could sit at home and watch the Hallmark's Christmas in July while she was recovering. Like that was my mom's like grand idea to like have her hip surgery in July. And I just fucking hate Christmas. Like, I know that that's my hot take, which is like even a hotter take. I said this last year. I'm just not a Christmas person.
Yeah, see, you're not a Christmas person. I'm not a Thanksgiving person. So it makes sense.
It's just like Christmas for everyone is like 3 months. And I'm like, I'm such a Grinch. I don't care if it's mean. I just am like, all right, everyone shut up and stop being so happy. So I don't know. Well, whatever. Tweets of the week. We are flying through this fucking show. Tweets of the week. I just have one, and it was from Big Cat Country. And they said, this Halloween, I am dressing up as a Jaguars fourth quarter lead, so I know I'll get blown. And I thought that was incredible. Do you have any tweets?
I don't think so.
Any closing thoughts?
I guess go Phillies.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I guess.
This was our fastest show we've ever done. Truly. I feel like I talked for 45 minutes. Sarah talked for like the NHL segment, and now we're like, okay, see ya. So thanks so much for listening to Saturdays and Seltzers. Love you guys. Keep on sipping, and we'll see you next week.